The journey of change. The journey of change is what we're talking about today. It's glad to see you guys on March 1st, Facebook family, Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube, broadcasting simultaneously. I want to go ahead and do the housekeeping. So I'm Curtis Carr. I'm the founder of Elevate. My wife and I run this company, do coaching, consulting, work, trying to get rid of this glare on my glasses. Supposed to be anti-glare glasses. But anyway, uh, been in leadership for over 30 years. Uh, Char's been a business analyst and a project manager for over 10 years. She also has her own company, Cupcake and a Smile. This is when she normally types in the link to let you guys know where you can get your cupcakes in the Houston area. But hey, Ans, good to see you. Good to see you. So, Elevate is an acronym. Hey, Tamika, Elevate is an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperament, and effectiveness. Hey, mom and dad, it's good to see you. And what we do is we try to shorten the curve. You know, there's a lot of things involving leadership. There's a lot of things, a lot of different aspects, from communication to problem solving to understanding people's temperament to vision casting to knowing yourself and growing in yourself to knowing how to set goals that are smart goals, and also knowing how to set multiple goals at a time and have your people strive in those areas. You know, if you're trying to move a team, how do you move that team? What do you put in their eyesight so that they can see and see clearly? Hey, Shay, see what the vision is. How to do conflict resolution. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I can probably go on another 15 minutes just hitting different topics. But at the end of the day, you know, leadership is a deep, deep well. And the more you know, more effective you will be. So Elevate, we do personal coaching. We also do group coaching. And then one of the things I'm really passionate about is the coaching, because it's just one-on-one. It just fits who I am and what I do the best. So like I said earlier, we are broadcasting on YouTube at the same time, simulcasting, I guess you would call it, simulcasting on YouTube. And hopefully we'll pick up some more people to spread the word. Very excited about today's topic, the journey of change. You know, there's books. You can write a whole book just on change, right? There's a lot to go there. But before we go there, I wanted to give a shout out to Shar. She's getting better. She's starting to seem like her old self now. Every once in a while, she'll overdo it, and she'll taper back a little bit. But for the most part, she's pretty much back to normal. So very excited about that. The other thing I wanted to mention today was that it is March 1st. I mean, can you believe it? I feel like it was just Christmas, right? It was just Christmas, and then it was just right after Christmas, and we were putting up decorations, putting them back in the attic, and we were ready for the next season. Then next thing I know, it was Valentine's Day, which I think was just wrong to put Valentine's Day right after Christmas. You don't get a chance to recover. So then Valentine's Day comes up, and what? You don't like my?
Where's your undershirt?
I got, you know, my wife is funny. She's like, "Where's my undershirt?" Oh my, like I got well, come on, what am I, America? What am I showing? Right? You got my chin. You got the zipper right here. There's not a lot going on here, right? So anyway, every once in a while, Shar feels like I'm one of her sons. But anyway, the journey of change is what we're talking about today. We want to hit the jokes first, so we will start off with the jokes. First joke is, what do you call a pit bull that lives in Alaska? Don't looking at my list there. Don't look at my list. She's up here trying to cheat. So anyway, what do you call a pit bull that lives in Alaska? Shar? I ain't said that in a while. It's been a while since she's been sitting here. I feel like it's been a while. How many weeks did you miss in this chair? I know you were on the broadcast, but you wasn't right there. What do you call a pit bull that lives in Alaska? A chili dog. That's what you call a pit bull that lives in Alaska, a chili dog. All right. So she smiled on that one. So we're going to keep that one. Ann said, way to go. Hey, Mother Brenda. I don't think I said hi to you. Hey, Mother Brenda. I also want to give a shout out. Well, I'll wait on that. I'll wait one more week on that one. Never mind. Why did the blood sell off all of his Bitcoin stock? Why did the blood sell off all of his Bitcoin stock?
You mean a gang member of the blood?
A gang member of blood. You get it? Crips and Bloods. Why did a blood sell off his Bitcoin stock? It was a form of cryptocurrency. So he didn't want to have it. It was a form of crypto. All right. I got a smirk. I got a smirk on that one. All right. What happens when you cross a police officer with a skunk? What happens when you remember this is the third one? This is supposed to be this is supposed to be the best one. Ann said over my head. What happens when you cross a police officer with a skunk? Law and order. We have a retired police officer. No jokes about the police department, please. Oh goodness. So we got a retired police officer didn't like the joke. So anyway, Law and Order. I thought that's one of my favorite shows, Law and Order. So I got it shaking my head, and they thought it was Mother Brenda thought it was so bad she actually spelled out shaking my head. Most people just put the MS. She wanted to make sure I got it. Shaking my head. So she said, I think I'll forget that one. So I don't know. We're gonna save them. I filed this away. I have this big. The nerd in me has this big 5-inch binder. You know, the kind that doesn't even close even. It kind of goes like this, and the bottom end is like this. So I saved these, and I will keep this one in there. I'm not throwing this in one way. I thought it was pretty good. So talking about the journey of change is what we're talking about today. We got a lot of time, and I would love for you guys to chime in. I like to get you guys to chime in early, but you know this is the fastest 30 minutes in social media. So I would like to get you guys to chime in early. But if you can just share something that involved change that you were a part of this in the last year that was difficult. It was a change that you had to make in the last year that was difficult. And I'm going to wait, and we're going to sit here and have small talk, Shar and I, while we wait for you guys to put your comments in. Shar put it in there again that we're on YouTube. And the other thing that's good about the YouTube, and we're still working on it, but everything is labeled. So you can see, you can say, oh, you know, I want to click on this, you know, the 5 P's of this, or I want to click on this, communication. Everything's labeled on there. You can go straight to whatever you want to see. So I love the fact that we're on YouTube, and I love the fact that it's filed away. I'm going to say it a fourth time. We are on YouTube now. So we also are on Instagram, and by this time next week, we should be on Twitter. And I'm so out of touch. I was like, do people really use Twitter? I know Elon Musk bought it and all that stuff, but I didn't know if people really still use Twitter. But we'll be on Twitter here soon. I shouldn't say a date.
And maybe say
soon.
TikTok eventually.
I don't even know if we fit on TikTok. I know that's supposed to be the hottest up and coming, but hey, Mr. Roundtree, good to see you. Good to see you. I want to do a shout out to that, and I wanted to hold up because I didn't want to say anything. We met Mr. Roundtree. We really enjoyed our talk. So shout out to Mr. Roundtree for coming out, spending a little time with us. Hey, Kisa, how you doing, Kisa? Adjusting to different styles of management. So that's the change that she had to deal with here lately. Tamika said, dealing with a teen. I already know all the joys that come with it.
Yeah. This is your 4th time around, right?
Yeah, I got a preteen that think he's 30. He walks around talking about he the man in the house. I'm like, man, take some of these bills in. If you the man, sure, let me give you some of these bills we carrying over here. So definitely understand contractor to an employee. So Shar is going through the change from going from contract work to an employee. Kisa trying to stay warm. Well, Kisa, you left Texas. You shouldn't have left. If you were in Texas, you've been warm for about 2 months now. It don't really get it. We have a chilly day here is 50. you know. So for me, I would say definitely still transitioning. You know, I'm what, shoot, 7 months into my position and I'm still transitioning. I mean, I've never experienced anything like this before. This is completely different animal, and I love it to death. It is fun, stressful, frustrating, exciting, all at the same time. But I would say that's the change I'm dealing with right now. So one of the things we're gonna do a little what I call the slides. So I'm gonna put some slides up, and I'm gonna try to put myself in there with it. Make sure I hit the right button. So I don't know if I want that look like that. Let's see if I can do this. All right. So right here we have a slide called "The Journey of Change" is what we're going to be talking about today. And you know, change is a powerful subject. I didn't think I needed to define change. I thought that it's pretty basic. Maybe I should have, but I love what Maya Angelou said. She said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the change it had to go through to achieve that beauty." And I think that that is powerful because you know we see people at their current state, and we don't really pay attention or think about most of the time what they had to go through to get to that place. So powerful quote by Maya Angelou. My favorite quote is one of my top three favorite quotes by Maya Angelou. Is it when what is has it go? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That's what I love that one. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So that's a powerful quote by Maya Angelou about change and just some certain realizations about change. And if we were to make a exhaustive list, it would be probably 15 pages. But these are some of the short realizations about change. And one is change is necessary for growth, right? I mean, it's just necessary. There's no way to grow without changing. Something has to change. I don't even care if it's in a negative sense. When you grow in a negative way, something changed. When you grow in a positive way, something changed. So it's just no way around it. Change is necessary for growth. Number two is change is not comfortable. I love the butterfly thing because you can just tell that's not comfortable. When you see that morphosis, when it goes through the cocoon to the butterfly, you can tell that is a painful, or the best one, when a woman gives birth. Talking about change, do we have to say anything else? That is huge amount of change that a person goes through. Number three, change can be enlightening and daunting. Um, I think we can all agree with that. My favorite one on this list is change creates memorials. And what I mean by that, even if it's in your mind, a lot of times when you go through a great change, you kind of mark that in your mind and build a memorial right there. You're like, you know what? These are the things that happened around this event. And it's an event of change, right? For me, I'm gonna keep this because I can get pretty dark here, but I'm gonna try to keep it light. But when I learned about the dreaded drama triangle, the one we talked about in these sessions, when I read about that, where you have the inverted triangle, and at the very bottom you have a victim, and then on the left side of that triangle, you'll have a rescuer, and on the right side of that triangle, you'll have a persecutor, and how you never want to be any of the three. That changed my whole mindset. Shar would tell you, I bought so many copies of that book, I give them away to people. I mean, that book is powerful and it's simple. And I realized that I was operating in the rescuer mode, and it talks about that. And you would think that's healthy. It's not healthy at all, right? So then they didn't stop there. They didn't leave you hanging with dysfunction. They went ahead and went to the next. They went on to the next one, which is the empowerment dynamic, which is a regular triangle. And at the top, it says, hey, don't be a victim, be a creator. When you have challenges, when you have obstacles, be a creator. And then you don't want to be a rescuer. You want to be a coach. That's the opposite. You don't want to be a persecutor. You want to be what's the next one? A challenger. That's the opposite of that one. So that right there, I can remember that. And that created a memorial in my mind. A big shift happened with me when I realized that. So the other one is change will happen. The last one is change is where champions live. Man, and that's the truth. If you're not changing, it's hard to be, you can't be a champion in anything you do, really. You know, if you're a champion in a certain area of your life, then it has to be a lot of change going on in those areas. Kisa says she loved the last one. That change is coming from a contractor. I'm assuming that you're talking about that one. Change is coming from a contractor to an employee. So I love where change is where champions live. And we got a little time. So if you guys can pick one, you got what, 6 choices here. Which one do you best identify with? Change is necessary for growth. Change is not comfortable. Change can be enlightening and daunting. Change creates memorials, which is my personal favorite. Change will happen. Change is where champions live. So, Char, what's your favorite one?
Change is not comfortable.
Change is not comfortable. So that's funny because the major change you went through, that definitely wasn't comfortable, right? Char typed it in there. Change is not comfortable. Alec put change. I call her Alec. Tamika put change is necessary for growth. And put change is necessary for growth. You know, I love that. I love that one. I love that one. That would probably be number 2 for me, for sure. Change is necessary for growth. It reminds me, and I'm trying not to go. My mind, I don't know if I'm just not focused, but my mind is going everywhere right now. But when I see that quote, change is necessary for growth, I think of that quote by the lady that is the CEO of YouTube, and she was just talking about opportunities. Because I'm right in the middle of that right now with some of my guys. There's some incredible opportunities for some guys of mine. And they're going to have to change to really maximize the opportunity. And the lady from YouTube, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember her name, but it is in the ebook that we sell. Plug. It's in the ebook that we sell. But basically, she's saying that opportunities don't come in this nice little cute box with a big yellow ribbon on top and a bow saying, hey, open me, open me. Opportunities come and they're messy, they're challenging, they're frustrating, they're stressful, right? And those are the kind of opportunities I give folks. I give them those stressful ones. So when I'm working with people, I have to sell them the stressful and say, here's the win with the stress. So Mr. Roundtree, there's no change unless you try to make a change. That's true. So you got to step out there. The next slide we have is this one. I call this change journeys. So I put some people on here, and all these people had to do some work. So that's me and my artistic ability. I picked this little icon at the bottom, but I wanted to share that this change thing, and you guys know it. I know we know it deep down deep, but this change thing is something we all go through. And my dad put on there necessary for growth. But I wanted to share some, to me, some very interesting stories. The first one is a guy named Mr. Cohen, and he's with another guy named Mr. Greenfield, and they started a bagel company, and they tried to get that bagel company going, and they just couldn't get it to make money. They were losing money hand over fist, and they were really struggling, but they didn't give up. They had to change some things that they were doing. You see that? You see what I did there? Mm-hmm. But they had to change. We're talking about change. Mm-hmm. All right. So I had to make sure she's paying attention over here. So they had to change the things that they're doing. And what they end up doing was they said, man, we're not making any money. So what we're going to do is change it. Instead of trying to do bagels, we're going to try to do ice cream. And it's Ben Cohen and it's Jerry Greenfield. And they started Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream. And they made a ton of money, as you know. Up north, they're based out of I think they're based out of Vermont, if I'm not mistaken. But they changed. They started off with bagels. Now, I didn't get enough information to find out all the details, how you go from bagels to ice cream, but that's what they did. Now, this next picture is a man that was trying to start, and I can't give you the name because then you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. But this next gentleman, he was trying to start and introduce to the marketplace a fabric weaving machine. And he tried, and he could not get it together. He was losing money. It wasn't working. And he made this big leap to automobiles. And he founded probably one of the top automobile companies that we know of in present day. His name is Mr. Toyota. He changed the name to Toyota just because they believe in the Japanese language that there's two less brush strokes in the Japanese language when you use a T instead of a D. And they believe there's luck attributed to that. So instead of calling it Mr. Toyota with a D, they call it Toyota with a T. So going from fabric weaving to an automobile, I would just love to sit down and talk to him about that. And then this one I love too. And this gentleman's first name is William, and he was trying to do soap and baking soda. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to start a business with soap and baking soda. And needless to say, it didn't work out. Soap and baking soda. So he ended up starting, and his name, a gum company called Wrigley's Gum. His name is Mr. William Wrigley. And he's on the cover of Time magazine because his gum company was so successful. So just the journey of change, the journey of people's changes is, to me, so interesting. I love to hear what people go through. One day, if we had enough time, we would, I would love to hear some of the stories you guys have with change. But change is a serious journey and something that I feel like we need to be more comfortable with. Change. Now, the journey of change, and I believe, the journey of change, and I love this. It says it starts with a desire that fuels the discipline you will need to develop your mind. This developed mind will discover truths that have always existed, but may be new to you. The newfound awareness will lead you to devaluing things, people, ideas, and behaviors that do not align with your expected destination, thus allowing you more time in your day to accomplish things that are more purposeful, which is awesome, which is an awesome reward for your determination. So just in that journey of change, there's things that you have to devalue. There's certain things, if you really want to reach that goal and you have to change, we always use weight, right? There's certain things you got to devalue. In my life would be Big Red. That I would have to devalue Big Red. In my life, I would have to devalue. I don't put enough value on walking. When I was walking more, I was about 15 pounds lighter. I changed positions and now I'm 15 pounds heavier. And if I want to see change, I'm going to have to devalue some of the things that I'm doing now, right? To get to that expected destination. But at the end of the day, change is powerful, and it's something that I feel like, especially when we get to a certain place, we don't feel comfortable in it like we should. And Shar, since I'm going to get on this screen right here, Shar, would you say you're comfortable with change?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with it. It takes time to get there. Like you make a change and you have to adjust. So there is a time that you have to use to make some adjustments. And so that's the uncomfortable part is getting through.
And I hope y'all can hear her. She said she's comfortable with change, but it takes time to adjust to it. My thought process, and this is just my little sample size of people I deal with, I feel like overall we don't want change. I just feel like, we just don't want it, right? But we want a different outcome, right? It's almost like I always tell people, I'm not a reader. I read because I love the outcome, but I'm just not a natural reader. My father's a natural reader. I remember one time he told me, he probably won't even remember this, but he told me I can read a book at a stoplight. That's what he told me. But he reads. For me, I plow my way through a book, but I pick up a lot. And when I pick up a lot, it really changes my mindset. So I enjoy the results of reading, but it's not a natural thing for me. So,
but change is uncomfortable because even in corporate America, we have roles that are change management. It's so important that you have to manage the change at all levels. Right?
So she was saying in corporate America, you have change management. It's funny because, that takes me to a whole nother place. But at the end of the day, that's a powerful concept, because when we're working with people and we're trying to train and develop people, even in my business, we do things from the very beginning to start changing the behavior. Even in our training modules and all that stuff, we try to expose them to things, let them see things. When I talk to them, when I do the orientation, I'm trying to give them a wider view, because we're trying to affect the behavior. And then we purposely have meetings to reinforce the behavior, because we're trying to get this change, right? So I get it. You're absolutely right. Overall, it's 7:27. I want to repeat the fact that we are on YouTube now. We're on Facebook. I feel like we should have been on YouTube, right? You know, I got a tech person next to me. She's like, yeah, you're the dinosaur. You're a year and a half later. We started this in 2021.
We're making small changes.
We're making small changes.
And they were very uncomfortable for you, because you didn't want to do this at home.
And my wife, she emphasized that all these changes were uncomfortable for me, because I didn't want to do this at all. And that is so true. So since we got a couple minutes here, I will share the story. So Shar, we got married, right? We got married, it'd be 3 years this July. So when we got married, you know, we start putting all our stuff together, and she saw all my Elevate stuff. And she was like, wow, what's all this stuff? Actually, you saw it when we were at my house. So she saw all this stuff, and she was like, man, you know, we need to organize it. We need to come up with you can use this as a quote book, and come out with a series of quote books, and you can use this. And then one time she was like, hey, you should do some podcast. I'm like, I ain't getting on the computer, man. I do it in front of people, you know, live, active people, not on a computer. She said, you should try it. So Ann said, baby steps. So she said, you should try it. So then it's like anything else. I said, no, I don't want to do it. And then I started thinking about it. And then I went back to it, and I said, you know what? I'll give it 15 minutes. I'll get on there for 15 minutes. She said, you can't get on there for 15 minutes. You need to be on there at least an hour. I said, I'm not doing an hour. It's just not happening. I'm not going to do an hour. And then next thing you know, we're at 30 minutes. So that's where it came. And here we are.
I didn't say an hour. I said 30 minutes.
No, you said an
Hours
hour.
way too long.
You said an hour at first. I remember. So she's on medication, America. So just know that everything she say, she might not realize she's not telling the truth. So anyway, we did 30 minutes, and here we are on episode 81. 81. So thank you, Shar. Still on medication though. So anyway, it's 7:29. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Please tell your friends and family about us. We want to make a great impact. There's a lot of little nuggets. We go deeper. I had another page I wanted to go through, but there's a lot things that we do, and there's systematic ways to affect change, and those are the things that we would teach in the Elevate. When we had a more formal setting, there's a lot of different ways to really affect change. And I love it. I love it to see the person get to where they want to be, and I see them fight to get there. And it's really one of my greatest joys. So, you know, these podcasts are supposed to be like little teasers, and we give you a little bit. We don't give you all of it, but there's a lot involved in this, that it goes a lot deeper. So if you want more time to say, Curtis, go here to sign up for coaching sessions. We do free coaching sessions. You know, there's a lot, and I shouldn't have started. My mind is going down to 7:30. It's too late to be going now. But at the end of the day, really appreciate y'all coming on. Remember our tagline: be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Thank you, Mr. Roundtree. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great evening.